Hi, it is Martha of Just Martha Designs, and today we're going to be using the Magical Mermaid stamp from Stampin Up. And I want to talk a little bit about distressing and also about masking. So this is the card that I created, and I'm going to kind of do something a lot more well, actually, I'm going to correct the mistake that I made. This was a lovely idea for a card, and I was so happy about it. However, I made a mistake. I forgot to create a mask, and so I'm going to show you how to create a mask so that you can avoid this, because I love the idea of the distress paper and using the distressing inks to create this, because I thought this would be beautiful for like a water type scene. And I really wanted to emboss my mermaid and kind of just nothing but the wink of Stella on top of her after I had finished. Unfortunately, I made that mistake, tried to correct it, thought that I could color it, and I didn't. So we're going to be creating this card, but a little different today. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to start off with just a basic card base, and this is 8.5 by 5.5, and yes, 8.5 by 5.5, folded in half so that it is a regular A2 size card. And you can just set that aside, because the first thing that you need to do is, one, I'm not going to create my mask just yet, so I'm going to put this aside. I want to go ahead and distress my top. So I cut a piece of Whisper White, and it is 5 inches by 3 3/4 inches so that it would go on top. And I'm going to distress this. And underneath here, and you probably can't see, but I just have a clean or a clear window film sheet so that any mistakes that I make, it'll easily be wiped off. And I am going to be using some of the, what's that, Jim Holtz, the Distress inks. So I'm using these, and you always want to start with the lightest and go to the darkest. But in the instance that I did, what I did was I just kind of started with the yellow. Well, it's not yellow, it's the fossilized amber, the abandoned coral, and then going into the Mermaid Lagoon and the cracked pistachio. I thought these were just absolutely beautiful. They were more like a watercolor, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm just going to take my little pad, and I'm going to start with the yellow. I'm sorry about the noise again. My cat is chasing I think there was a stink bug got in, and he has been chasing after it. As long as he catches it, I'm happy. So, all right, so I'm just going to kind of dab this in, and the great thing about using this little film is I can kind of like go on top of it and then just kind of pull it in on top. And I think instead of an angle, I may go straight down, maybe. Okay. All right. So now go ahead and put this away. Change out my little pad. And I'm using the abandoned coral. It's really pretty. It looks like a kind of like a sunset. Okay, so now I have my card nice and distressed, if you will, with the inks. Put these away. And the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create my mask that I will be using. And to do that, I'm going to take my mermaid. Attach my mermaid to my and to create my mask, I just want the tail part. So I'm going to kind of like stamp it like so, so that I have that. I'm going to cut that out with a pair of scissors. And when you create your stamps, or excuse me, when you create your masks, just kind of save them and place them in your stamp case with your stamps, and that way the next time that you actually use that stamp, if you need a mask, you already have one created. So go ahead and you cut out your mask, and all you have to do is just place that mask in your stamp case, and then every time that you use that stamp, if you need a mask, you'll have one already cut out, and you won't have to go through this process again. The whole purpose of behind the mask is to kind of cover up what you don't want stamped. It's kind of like the first card that I showed you. It was a great idea, but had I used the mask, it would not have looked quite the way that it did. So let's see here. All right, so now I have her tail cut out, and I have a nice little mask created. I'm gonna wipe the ink off, and I'm going to go ahead and do my embossing. And to do that, I have some clear embossing powder, and I'm going to be stamping her in the Island Indigo. I'm gonna kind of take off some static so that it only sticks to the mermaid. And I have, bring my stamp over here so that you can see what I'm doing. I'm just taking some Versamark and putting it on my stamp first, because I want to keep the ink nice and wet. And so if I apply the Versamark and then apply the Island Indigo, then it will not dry. As quick. All right, so she is nice and inked, and I'm going to place her where I want her. And while she is still wet, I'm going to put clear embossing powder over the top of the image. All right, I got a little bit on my sheet, so I'll go ahead and clear it up as well. Okay. So now I'm going to take my heat gun and go ahead and heat this up and melt the embossing powder. Always love to watch the magic unfold with the embossing powder. So now that she is on there, the next thing that I'm going to do is to take the lovely underwater fauna, and I am going to stamp it in some of the Tranquil Tide. And this is where my mask is going to come into play, because I'm going to place my mask over the top of her tail. And if you have to, you can always take like a little Post-it to kind of hold everything in place. I need to move it over this side. So that way I can hold the little tail in place and it will remove without distorting my image. All right, so I'm going to stamp the underwater fauna, and I'm kind of starting over to the side. And coming across. And I'm going to kind of like make it different levels. Just like so. And now I can take the mask off, and we now have the tails kind of in front of. Ooh. So all that's left is now to stamp our saying, and for this one it's going to be Mermaid Kisses and Starfish Wishes, and on the inside it will be have a magical birthday. So I'll start with the Mermaid Kisses, and that is going to be in the Island Indigo. And that's just going to go up here in the top corner. And while I still have the ink out, the same ink on the inside of my card, I'm going to put the Have a Magical Birthday. Just like so. And there's a lovely little mermaid that I'm going to add. Right in the corner. Just like so. Now, I'm going to attach this with just some fast fuse. Just like so. And to finish it off, I have some Wink of Stella in the clear. And I'm going to paint her. With the Wink of Stella. And Wink of Stella is just a It's kind of like glitter, fine glitter in a paintbrush applicator. So it's really nice to add just enough touch of sparkle to whatever it is that you're wanting to add it to. I mean, you can take clear and add it to something that's supposed to be white just to give a faint little, well, really just a faint little hint of glitter, so that it's not just plain white. It would be a little glittery. But I love the effect of this. It's kind of like everything is underwater, or at least my little mermaid's underwater. And she sparkles. And there we have it. I really hope that the sparkly shows up really well for you on the camera, but card is finished. I love the distressed inks. Like I said, they're really great, and they're kind of going to change up a lot of things that I do now, just by using those distress inks. But adding things that you have around to some of your Stampin' Up stamps, that's like a really great idea, and I am so hooked on the mermaids. Absolutely wonderful. But if you like this, give it a thumbs up. Give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel. I generally put up at least one video a week, and I try to bring you things that I know that you are interested in. So, you know, comment below and let me know what it is that you would like to, what tutorial would you like to see? And I will be linking to my Facebook and my Instagram. All of that can be found in the description below. I'm often posting things on there. Go to my website, justmarthadesigns.com. Be sure to subscribe to our newsletter, because I send out discount codes to my members who are on my newsletter. And so you don't want to miss out on a great deal. But I hope that you enjoyed this. And until later, bye.